So welcome back, homies, it's Shredsy, and you obviously clicked on this video to see the best PVE innates, and don't worry, your boy got you. But before we do that, join my Discord server if you're looking to trade curse hands or even domain shards. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be someone that has what you're looking for. So without the yap, let's get straight to it. Alright, so starting off the video with the Noobie Innates, let's go ahead and sort these throughout F rank. I'm not gonna explain what they do because they don't really compare to the others like that, so there's no point in explaining. So yeah, let's go ahead and move these out the way. Alright, so now getting into blood manipulation. Now this innate could have been way better, but since we're doing PVE ratings, it doesn't fit at all in like this little tier list. But it does, however, proc a massive amount of curses, which is pretty good, and it has a pretty good passive that creates a supernova with the floating orbs that's left behind from like when you proc your blood moves or whatever. So I guess it is pretty good. I'll fit that at the bottom of B tier. It's gonna stay there. Moving on to Cryokinesis. Now this innate is actually really damn good, but people sleep on it because it's a rare. But all the moves have huge AoE unless you freeze them in place, and the final move called Ice Age carries it. Not gonna lie, the move pretty much summons a huge ice blast around them, like sending out spikes, freezing everything in it, and it also pushes everything back. So we're just gonna slide this at the top of beat, not top, but for right now it's gonna be above blood manipulation. Next one up is Straw. Now this technique is very confusing. It's like it has a lot of extra moves that you have to proc with other moves, but I guess if you do use it for a while, you'll sort of get used to it. But it's kind of ass, so there's no point in really using it. You can't really proc a massive amount of targets, so that already makes it pretty mid. So I'm just gonna slide this in C tier because it is above the it's above the ass ones, but it's not above the good ones type shit. Then getting into Curse Speech. Now this innate is only good due to two moves, which is Megaphone that sends your opponents flying across the map. It sends them so far, and Blast Away that pretty much does the same thing, but you can chance it, making it stronger, and it can guard break, and it deals 2 times damage. I think it's definitely better than blood manipulation, but it's not better than Cryo, so it fits right there perfectly. Moving on to Ratio. Now with all the moves doing insanely high damage for a rare, they gave it a move called Overtime, which increases the stats. You get 15% increased damage, 25% more speed, 15% more defense, and 15% reduced cooldowns on all your moves. So this is definitely better than all the ones that we rated so far. So let's just put that at A tier right now. Now moving on to Volcano, one of my favorite legendaries throughout the whole entire game. This is one of the best legendaries in the game. Believe me or don't believe me. I'm surprised they did Jogo this good because he did get off screen, but in the show he did some crazy feats, so it only makes sense that they did his innate crazy. And this is also really good innate for grinding early levels, and it also excels in game as well because you can spawn a huge meteor. You can summon your domain is crazy, by the way. So we don't need to say no more. It's definitely at the top of A tier. This is one of the best legendaries in the game. And now we got the most shittiest legendary in the game, Hydrokinesis. Now Hydrokinesis is pretty alright. I'm not sure why they did doggone that bad. This innate isn't good at all because they did it wrong, but in the anime it's insane. But this innate consists of water moves, hence the name. It has a passive that applies a wet effect that slows your opponents down and deals less damage, which is kinda mid. It does have a pretty good move for that, like it does AoE damage called like Tsunami, I think, and you can hold it down. But I really think that's the only good move in this set, so this is most definitely going at C tier. Moving on to Judgment, it's okay-ish. I've barely used it, but from what I heard, it's better than Cryo and everything that we've rated so far, except for Volcano. But it's definitely not in the A tier range. It's pretty mid. I barely see anybody use it, so that obviously has to mean that it's mid, but it's most definitely better than everything I've named so far, and most definitely better than fucking Cryokinesis. So we're gonna put that above it at B tier. Demon Vessel, one of the most mid innates, most mid special grades I've ever seen. I don't know why they made Sukana's innate so fucking fodder. It's crazy. It could have been so much better. The cleave move needs a huge rework, and Fuga needs to be way bigger, like a way bigger move and deal more damage. The domain is actually insanely good, but there's no point in getting it if the rest of your innate is hot trash, but it does beat all the others that we rated so far. So we're just gonna put this at the top of B tier because Judgment definitely isn't beating this. Moving on to Curse Queen. Now this is my fan favorite technique in the game so far, man. I love this technique by all means. Something might be better than it, but I don't care because Rika, the first move you get from Rika, I think it's Ghastly Fist. It does so much damage when you're like in an early level, and it also does really good damage when you're a high level as well. So this innate by itself is actually really good, and it's pretty confusing once you get Conjuration and everything else, but once you play with it like for a while in Sandbox, you realize how OP this innate actually is when you can apply buffs to any move and even stealing moves from your opponent's technique or move set. So we're gonna go ahead and put this at A tier because it just deserves it. It's definitely not better than Volcano, but I'm gonna be unbiased. It's not better than Volcano because nothing can top Volcano except for the 2 special grades that I'm gonna say at the end of this video, so stay tuned to that. Now, Gambler Fever is better than Rika, so it's definitely an A tier. It's pretty much meant for a larger scale of enemies. The hitboxes on all the moves are actually pretty good. What's the Volcano balls? I think I forgot what it's called, but those have actually insane range and they keep going, so they hit anything in its path, which is pretty good. The domain is also really damn good. It applies buffs to all your moves, and like, you know, since you have Gambler Fever, you know, you have a speed boost as well, so that's actually really good. It's better than Rika's for sure, so I'm gonna just go ahead and slide this right up in here. Soul Manipulation. Now, I'm happy they made this innate hot fucking trash because nobody fucks with Mahito after he cooked the gang, and I don't really know what this does at all, but I hear everyone calling it the worst out of all the special grades, so I'm just gonna trust their opinion and slide this in 8. Damn, I said A tier, I meant C tier, my bad. Star Rage, this is pretty damn obvious. S tier. This is by far one of the best innates in game, well, second best for PVE farming. And last of all, my blue-eyed king. Moving on to Infinity. Now, a lot of people might have mixed opinions on this innate, but I and a lot of others think it's insanely good for PvE, let alone one of the moves called Mugen literally lets you become immune to all damage stresses for a long period of time. And even at low level missions, it already does an insane amount of damage, pretty much one tapping every curse that comes in a capture point, or if you're even trying to like take out a curse user, you delete their health immediately. And even at endgame, Infinity is probably one of the best innates you can still have, because with endgame moves like Hollow Nuke and 6 Eyes, so this is most definitely the best innate in the game PvE wise, so this is at the top of the list. So yeah, that pretty much is it for this video. Like I said, join my Discord server if you want to trade, and also if I messed up on anything in this tier list, please let me know down below in the comment section because I would love to be corrected. And yeah, I'll see you guys next one. Later.